Hi, I'm Patch. Welcome to my channel. This is just a very quick video that's connected to the video I did last week on power chords. I think it should come out a week before this one. If it doesn't, the previous video I did on power chords, delete in your mind as appropriate. And this is on octaves. One for the usefulness of playing octaves, and actually usefulness of octaves to find a way around the neck navigation. So first of all, what's an octave? It's just the same note an octave higher. So for example, we take A, it's, I'll try and show it in the camera down here. So if you're going octave. Now, playing octaves, it's something that's used quite a lot with bands like Radiohead and Muse. They use octaves quite a lot because they have this sort of drony sounds to them. And playing octaves can be a little bit tricky initially because you're basically playing the 3-note power chord we looked at before in previous or last week's video, but you're missing out the fifth. So for example, if we take let's take D because it's a little bit better to play than A. This one. So that's our power chord, our 3-note power chord. So we've got the root, fifth, octave. And then we take out the fifth in the middle and we just have... Now the reason we have octaves is because they have that sort of slightly sinister kind of drony sound, and they're very fun to play like... Or if you're Radiohead, lots of very fast playing, which is so hard to do. Like, got the wrong pick for that. And they're slightly tricky to play in just terms of because we need to mute the string in the middle. So sometimes you can do it by just like resting your third finger there, or letting your first finger kind of sort of hang on the what should be the note playing the fifth. So that's just a very, very quick intro to playing octaves. Now sort of the second part on the usefulness of octaves, because if we're trying to find notes around the fretboard, and we're using our sort of our baseline of learning the notes in the low E and the low A, which I recommend to do because it's so important for learning pretty much everything. We don't need to automatically know what all the other notes are because it will tell us their octave shape. So for example, if I was sort of if I was going to a beginner and going, okay, what's the note on the D string on the 3rd fret, and even me sort of off the top of my head I'd be like, oh, I don't know. But if we have an F and we do an F octave, well then I know it's an F because it's there. And the same thing, again with this, that D chord. If I was like, okay, well what's the note of the G string on the 7th fret? I'd have to go like, okay, well, just go, oh, it's a D because I've got that there. And then once we know that note, then we know where else to go, because then we know the relative notes sort of next to that. For example, like so A, D flat, B, and so on and so forth. And then once you get to the 12th fret, it's all just the same thing again anyway. So I hope that makes sense. They sound cool and they're really good to navigate around the fretboard. Please ask questions and comments, because every time I sort of do one of these videos I kind of think, oh, I should do that, I should talk about that, but then they'd be about 15 minutes long each, which the algorithm tells me is not of interest. So anyway, do ask me questions. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll be doing a load more of these. Cool, see you soon. Bye.